Hey, so I found a tag I want to do. It's called My Year in Color 2021, and it's by KitsandCaboodles. And yeah, I thought I really liked the questions and how it was set up, so I thought I would do it. So let me just move this a bit. Yeah, so the first question is, what was your favorite book or artist of the year? And for me this year, it was probably Hannah Carlson. So I've colored a lot in her book this year, and I have a few of her books here, but like I know I did a lot in Summer Nights, and I did a lot in, what's it called? Jewelry box, and yeah, had a lot of fun. I think more about that a bit later though. The second question is, what's your favorite coloring supply of the year? And for me, it was probably water-based markers. I have colored with water-based markers before, but this year I really went all out with that. And it's also the main reason why I started the YouTube channel, was that I felt like more people need to know the joy that that this supply brings, that it's sort of underrated. Yeah, then the third question is, what did you color the most? And it's a bit similar to the first question for me, but it's Hannah Carlson, and then it's Mystic Art Mirrors, this coloring book, which I finished, and Sagor och Sagner, which I also finished this year. So yeah, that's the thing I've colored the most this year. So it's line art, and it's by those three artists. And I guess Maria Trolle is a close fourth. The fourth, we're at 4, right? Did you feel like you grew as a colorist this year, and how? I think the main like growth I've done this year is starting this channel. It's yeah, it's sort of it's exciting and fun to try out something new. So that's probably the main growth. Number 5, did you learn anything new about your coloring in 2021? I finished 2 books this year, and what I think I learned, or I sort of have realized that about myself earlier, but that I can't really pressure myself into doing things, especially not in this hobby. Like I can, of course, if I have to do something for work or studies, that's another thing. But for stuff that I don't really have to do, I can't. Yeah, that's the main thing. Like I was trying to, for example, the Mermaids and Friends. I could have finished it in December 2020 because I had only 6 pages left, but I just allowed myself to not feel that pressure, and instead finished it in I don't know, was it May or April? I think it's written here. What's the 4th month? March, right? Yeah, okay. No, April. January, February, March, April, April. So yeah, so I finished it in April instead, because I was like, I just, yeah, that's the main realization. If I want to actually accomplish things in my hobby, I can't put rules on myself or pressure myself into doing things. Or I can like put on guidelines, but not rules, because that doesn't work for me. And number 6, did you color less, more, or just the right amount this year? For me, it's probably that I colored, like it started up, I had a tough time this spring, or yeah, actually it started in December or November 2020, and then until sort of March, yeah, 2021. I had a tough time, and I was in a slump, and like, yeah, was not coloring. So I colored less in that period. And then sort of I kickstarted again in, yeah, by finishing this coloring book, and, you know, started getting into more mindless coloring in Hannah Carlson also. And then Yeah, so that's where I colored about just the right amount or whatever that is. But like, and then in autumn now, in like October, I was extremely productive, and December as well this year. In October, I colored like. In December, I think I counted, I had completed 16 pages, and in October, or was it September maybe? Yeah, 22 pages in September. So that's really like a large amount for me. I probably end up at 10. I haven't been counting the pages that long a time, but still. So yeah, so that's when I colored more than I thought. Yeah, I would. Number 7, what did coloring mean for you this year? For me, just fun and exciting. I didn't color that much in my mindless books, so this is one of my mindless books, I'll show you later. But so not so much like mindless relaxation or like meditative coloring, but like just something. I tried a lot of new stuff, new backgrounds, new techniques, and just had fun. So I didn't even try new techniques, for the challenge of it. But I have been challenging myself, but that's not the main, just for fun, I guess. Fun and exciting, and especially now this period with YouTube, it's just been like emphasis on the exciting. Yeah, and then we have number 8 to number 17. Show 10 pictures from the year that showcase your journey the best. All right, and that's where this pile comes into play. So first up, I want to show you my mindless coloring book. So the page I've chosen is this one, but it could be anything. This is the book I color in mindlessly without caring about the color combos a lot. Like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but mostly it's just, it's gel pen and water-based markers, and it's just putting color to paper. So this is one of the books I feel like I need to show that is a part of my journey. It's just mindlessly putting color to paper. And I do this when I'm really tired, but my mind can't calm down, or so this, I think, was also the thing that got me out of my slump, was just one day sitting down and just putting color to paper without caring about the colors, without any of that pressure to make things pretty or anything. And I really like these designs for that they're circular, smaller designs, aren't that intimidating. So that's a part of my journey. The second picture I have here is in a similar vein, mindlessly coloring just for the sake of coloring. Just water-based markers. This is in Fairy Tales by Emily Lidha Löfberg. And that was Alice in Wonderland by Olga Goloveshkina. I'm almost finished with this book, so I'll have to buy a new mindless one. What will that be? But yeah, this is in a similar vein. So I do a lot of the rest of the pictures are more challenging and stuff like that. But let's keep in mind that a big part of my journey is just using the hobby as sort of mindless. This is not as mindless as this book. In this book, I don't even care about the color combos. In this, I do care about the color combos, and some of the pictures I care a bit about how they turn out as well. But I mean, I haven't even gone in and shaded this. I could. It's nothing stopping me from going in and shading it, but I don't think it needs it because it's a graphic design, and it's it's nice and relaxing to do it. Let's see, where do I put this pile? Here. All right. Next up, I have a picture, because this is obviously a big part of my coloring journey, is finishing this book. And the last picture I did in this book is this girl on the spring. And this is also where my most used media this year comes in, like water-based markers diluted with water is... I did that a lot last year as well when I colored in this book, and I've continued it in this year, both in this book and in Tiny Black Fox by Ulla Tunnell, and in The Wildwood Soiree by Annie Steggerard. Those are the 3 books that I feel the paper is really suited for this technique. But yeah, this was the last one I did, and yeah, I'm really, like, that's a big part of my journey to actually finish. This was the first coloring book I've ever finished, and I've been coloring for a long time. What did we say? 2015, I think. Oh no, I think I'm saying a different year every day, every time I say this. But anyway, I got this book in 2019 and finished it in 2021. So that took like, what's that? 2 years, right? Yeah. Next up is the second book I finished. This is also, of course, a large part of my journey. But this is, I finished this one in December. And the picture I've chosen here is actually this one. So it's not the last picture I did in this book, but I feel like this is more representative of my coloring in this book. Just Inktense, some polychromos, and some Albert Dürer, but that I count that as Inktense. Like, okay, water-soluble pencils. Yeah, just having quick and fast and fun is, I think, the main focus of this book has been that. I have done, or I have filmed, but not loaded up yet, flip through of my finished pages here. But yeah, I feel like that's really representative. Just quick Inktense work and not putting pressure on myself to make every picture in here a masterpiece. I think that's also a lesson I've learned this year. Both with finishing the 2 books I've finished, it's that I don't need to put pressure on myself to make every picture a masterpiece. I like doing that every now and then, and I get satisfaction out of like really feeling accomplished about something and having it turn out, sometimes even exceeding my plans. But yeah, I don't need to do that for every page. And like using quick Inktense work as a way to have fun is nice. Next picture here that I've chosen to represent my journey is in the same vein. Like, this is also quick work. Like both these, or all the pictures I've shown this far, are the work of like one evening. And this is also just one evening, and it's some water-based some alcohol markers, some water-based markers, but mainly it's Inktense and a few polychromos on top. And yeah, like just even this detailed pages, just not putting that much effort into every single detail, is something I think is representative of my journey this year. Next up, we have this page. This is more in the vein of creating a masterpiece, sort of. Not that I count this as a masterpiece, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I did like take inspiration from a Pinterest image to like do this more weird background, and I had a lot of fun doing it. And like, yeah, this is more, yeah, less in the vein of just mindless coloring. Next up, oh, did I have another one here? Sorry, let me just check. No, I think that's, yeah. Okay. Next up we have, yeah, another thing that's representative of my journey this year is making weird makeup. So yeah, this is like one of my many, I don't know, like maybe 4 Hannah Carlson girls that I've done this year with weird makeup. And it's something I've like taken with me to other designs as well. It's not just Hannah Carlson, but it's a thing I'm having a lot of fun with. And I'm like looking at pictures on both Instagram and Pinterest of, you know, makeup artists and taking inspiration from that and doing my own thing mostly, but yeah. So that's a thing. I do think there was another page here. What was that? Let me just... No, I think that's for the other question. Okay. Lastly, a picture representing my... or two things here, right? Yeah, okay. So another picture representing my journey this year is nameplates. I did it as a quick little challenge for myself in like August, maybe August and September. I completed all my Maria Trolle and Hannah Carlson nameplate pages and Johanna Basford. I have so that's the challenge I'll put myself this year, to complete my Kirby nameplate pages. And you know, Kirby is really detailed, so we'll see. And then the last picture for this question is this one. So this is for my... this is a big part of my journey, because like this is the first color along or color and chat or color along, I don't know, on my challenge channel. So that's a thing that it's on one of my first videos on YouTube. And another thing is that it's marker scribbling. That's a technique that I have sort of used before in my Kirby Rosanna's books, maybe last year, maybe even earlier. But it's not until this year, like, I really went crazy in, especially Maria Trolle books with this technique. It's so much fun, it's so easy, and yeah. And of course the result isn't perfect, but it doesn't have to be. It's perfectly imperfect. Oh God, I hate that saying. It's so cliche, but still, it does apply here. Next question. Which picture did you learn the most from? Oh gods. I think, yeah, that's why this was marked differently. Yeah, I learned the most from this one. Both like doing, right? Yeah, that it's uploaded on YouTube, that's like a whole new experience. And marker scribbling, as I said, like that, it's a technique I sort of had a lot of fun for this year. Then question 19. Which picture is the star of the show in 2021? I guess it's no surprise that it's this lady for me. She's my profile picture on Instagram right now also. I'm kind of in love with her, with how this turned out. I'm happy that I drew in the design on my own, inspired by some Pinterest sugar skulls. And I'm happy with the color combo. I love the white gel pen on the hair, even though I hated doing it because it's so tedious. I just, yeah, love this. So this is the star of the show. And then finally, question number 20. What coloring plans do you have for 2022? Now, I'll probably do a separate video for this a bit, or maybe not, depending on how much time I have. But I have a list of forever whips I want to get to. Not all of them, but I want to color some of them this year. I want to color my hoard. I have quite a few books that I bought new now in December. So this is my color your hoard list, and these books are the ones that are really old in my collection that I haven't finished a page in yet. They all have whips, but the rest of them are new ones. And you see I've colored in 2 of them at least. but the rest of them are new ones from December that I need to get to and would love to get to. So yeah. And then, yeah, and I'm not going to pressure myself into doing this because, as I said before, I don't really feel like that's a way to go for me. But if I were to finish a coloring book in this year, it's Magical Dawn. This is one of my oldest books. I think those are old tags. And this is one of my oldest books and has a lot of old finishes. But a lot of the designs that are left are some of my favorite designs, like the rabbit. Where is it? There's a rabbit somewhere. Oh yeah, this one. So I really want to do this one. And I have a few pages left. Let's see. Somewhere I have that. Don't I have that? Let me just... Yeah, books to finish. Here we go. So in Magical Dawn, you see, I have like... Yeah, I'm about halfway done with the book. So... probably won't finish it this year. But that's sort of one of my... not goals, but guidelines. Let's go with that. Another goal I have is 1 video per week. I've been kind of good at that. I've skipped some weeks somewhere, but like, yeah, that's something, you know, life. Then I have a list of neglected books I want to get back to. And those are, yeah, I have a few neglected books that I really want to do. I have given, like, I give hearts to them when I do color in them, but like there's a lot here that needs more love, like Moon Blossoms, Forest Diver, Shadowscapes. I really want to return to Shadowscapes. Jessica Palmer, yeah, Fairies in Dreamland, that too. I could finish Fairies in Dreamland this year as well. think I'm more than halfway done, or maybe not. I have a lot of whips in that one at least. Forever whips and whips. And for me, a forever whip is something that, you know, that's been a whip for years and you don't really know how to continue it, but it just needs to be done. Yeah. So that's another thing that I would love to get to. And then we said the Kirby nameplates. Oh, and another thing I had to write down here, it's the bottles in season. I talked about that in my last video, so I would like to finish 1 bottle per season. Wow! Okay, I'll hopefully edit that out. All the books dropped, or 2 of them at least. But yeah, like I would like to finish all the bottles this year. So this is one of them that I did. The winter one, and then I have spring, autumn, and summer left. And yeah, and another fun challenge that I'm going to do this year is to color 1 page each month with my left hand. And this is spoilers for this month finished, but this is me coloring with my left hand. It's hard. It's so hard to stay in the lines. Oh goodness. But yeah, I hope, like, if I do that every month, we'll see if I get any progress done. So those are the challenges that I'm keeping in mind when I color these coming year. Yeah, I'm not going to be tagging anyone. I feel like I'm yeah, I'm too small of a channel to like tag anyone, and also I wasn't tagged anyway, but I wanted to do it, so I did. And yeah, those are my year in color 2021.